Okay, so I want you to hold on to that sensation now as we begin Peng Ne Gong. Keep that sensation of release and the just enough concept in our movement. Remember, this is when we use just enough strength to move our limbs. We're not trying to use excess tension. And this is very important as we perform our Ne Gong. So, our hands bowl and cup towards the lower dantian. Our knees bend slightly, and then we begin to rise, extending through the top of the head. Once we get to the level of the solar plexus, our hands move out from the center at 45-degree angle until we make a nice curve in our arms. Hands are roughly shoulder width apart. Hold the posture, and then we simply release. So we sink, rise, expand, and let go. So as you do this, just breathe naturally. Try not to puff your chest up as you rise. This is a common error. Hold on to that feeling of song. Just going to do a few more repetitions before we get into the details. So keep going. And what I want you to focus on now is the inflation of the posture. Now, what I mean by this is, as we begin our practice, as we begin the movement, we feel that it is the inflation of the gap between the joints, between the vertebrae, that are starting to create that motion. So as I rise, now I feel like I'm leading through my fingertips, through each joint. Each joint is separating very slightly. And as I separate each joint, I feel like I naturally want to go into the position. My spine is elongating. Each joint is opening up, even the finger joints. Hip joints are opening, knees, ankles, and we're creating this space between the joint. That's what we want to feel, an inflation of the joint itself. And this is called opening the joints. We do this within the context of song, so it shouldn't create new tension, it should be very relaxed, but very clear. Inflate. And we're creating pung in the joints here. We're opening the joint, inflating, expanding. And if you can only feel it in one joint, a lot of people can feel it straight away in their wrist. Then you just move your attention to another joint and think, okay, how do I inflate that joint? And it's normally from leading. We lead, we open, we feel inflation. And you may feel little clicks and things like this here and there. Certainly I often get little clicks in my back when I extend and open. This is completely natural. Don't find it anything to worry about there. So here we're working on setting up the structure through inflation, through expansion, and also the direction, the up and out direction. Both are being worked harmoniously and simultaneously as we do this motion. Very simple movement, but full of detail when we look inside. So pay attention. Make every single repetition perfect. That's what we're trying to do here. That's why we do not make it a circle or a circular practice. We want our attention to be perfectly rested on one moment. That moment of pung. From nothing, from wuji to pung. And feeling the differentiation between the two is very important. If we were to make it a circular motion, where does pung begin and end? Yeah? How do we identify pung? Especially when we're just starting out. We can't identify pung in this way. We have to make it one perfect motion. Make note of every error. Every error you make note of. Okay, next time I make it perfect. We go again. Make note of every error. Okay, next time I make it perfect. And we just keep this process going. Don't lose song. Keep everything nice and released. Keep the inflation feeling. Understand the movement of pung. Understand when we get to this end position, the structure. When you hold this end position for a second or two, feel, what does the structure feel like? Go inside the joints. Is everything open? Am I expanding all directions? Internally. And then you can release. On the next one, allow your hands to rest next to your sides. Now we're going to turn our right foot out to 45 degrees. We're going to step forward with our left foot about a shoulder width. We're looking out to our 45-degree line. And what we're going to do is turn our torso slightly to the front, close the front quad, open the back quad slightly. Raise your left hand up, elbow above the knee of the front foot, palm facing in towards us. A nice curve in the arm, elbow slightly sunk, and the shoulder released and relaxed. Our right hand is going to point down towards the earth. Elbow is pretty much above the back foot, back knee, sorry. And our palm is facing down at the level of the lower dantian. Hold this posture. And what we're going to do is inflate the joints in this posture and create the structure. Very slight incline forward in the torso. This is the traditional Yang style posture rather than the sort of much more modern posture of very bolt upright. Expand all the joints. Try to get to a feeling where the posture is not being held by the shoulders. It's not that I'm holding my arms up. The arms are sunk and relaxed, and they feel like the inflation inside the joints and the extension through the bones, the expansion in all directions is holding you there. It's not anything else. It's very, very soft, very released. Now we're going to drop the front hand. Back hand is going to float. We're going to move into the rear quad, hold the ball. Then pung. Back hand drops. Move into the front quad. Open in all directions. And again, circle, hold the ball, pung. Expanding in all directions through all the joints at the same time. And again. Pung. Again. Open. Open all the joints. Maintain song. Open the spine. Create the structure. Feel the direction. And again. Pung. And again. Pung. Now release. Bring the front foot back. Stand for a moment. Turn your left foot out. Step forward with your right foot. Settle yourself. Get into the good posture for yourself. Right hand up, elbow above the knee, palm facing. We've turned our torso slightly towards the front. Back hand pressing down, elbow above knee. Settle yourself into the posture. Check all of the requirements. Adjust your position. And then pung. Feel each joint expand, release, song. And as you feel that, just set yourself into the position, become familiar. And we hold the ball. Float the rear hand, front hand drops. Pung. Expand through all the joints as you do so. Extend, feel the direction and the structure. Hold the ball. Pung. Hold the ball. Pung. And as we do this process, we go through from holding the ball to pung. The holding the ball is the reset, but we still want to feel that there is some pung in this action. We want to feel that our joints are still open. We're not letting go too much. Our joints are still open, and then we create the movement of pung, up and out, as we reinforce that structure of pung. We re-establish it. We extend through our joints open. We have 6 directions, every direction of expansion. Keep practicing, keep going in your own time. So we're getting that feeling of sync, song, release, as well as that feeling of expand and open up. So the opening is not due to tension, it's due to the feeling inside the joints. Okay, last couple. And come back to standing. Now the last practice we're going to do is internally try to create the same sensation. So what we're going to do is open our palms, have our hands to our sides, open up the armpit slightly. We're going to release. Then we're going to pung inside. So we're going to extend through the spine, through all the joints. And then release. And expand. And release. Expand. Release. Expand. Release. Keep going. And what we want to feel is that this is happening inside the body. It's not a big overt movement, but it's as clear as the Neigong we were just doing. There's no difference. It feels the same. But but we're making it go deep inside now. We're using our mind, our intent, to feel and produce the same effect in virtually no distance as we had when we were moving much more distance. Okay, and now cross your hands, lower dantian, feet together, seal the practice. Equilibrium between heaven and earth. Feel everything that you just trained, all the little insights as you were moving around, everyone's personal observation. Make note and seal that into your mind. Remember it the next time you do this practice. Very good. Thank you, everybody. This is the end of the class for today. And I hope you could really feel what Pung is. Okay, we did about 20 minutes of pure Pung training. And from that, you should really feel this sensation of opening up and out and of structure and what the structure of Pung means. Does it mean simply to hold our hand in a position? No, it means that internally, inside, we are creating the conditions for this sensation of opening. And that opening permeates all of Tai Chi. Every preceding power, every movement has some Pung inside. It has some concept of inflation as we make our movements. So it's very important for us to feel, connect, and understand this part of Tai Chi. I hope you've enjoyed today's session. It's been a pleasure to teach you today, and I will see you next week.